Footprints, prism shape of captivity, closed in a polygon proximity, simple activity accomplished by unlocking your eyes, collided into a four-sided chamber of unbelievable lies, and arise inconceivable cries of freedom to exist, independent, congruent to openness, a blissful, unconnected emotion detached by a cube, box a madly excitable track, lock protected by the lock, the block dot passage. The process for infinite, a quick photograph of truth is flashed to pass by your last canister. Containing this entire square of decision, desire to compare the opposition leads you to a starving clarity of famine. Drops of blindness, poison destroyed to avoid entrapment. Perplexed under the shady canopy, enclosed, made of plastic, dwindling away from the hollow blocks. Swallow the key that unlocked the cubicle. The cubicles unlocked, the shattered from the omnipotence, four-sided hatred, triggering ignorance in my rectangular coordinates. A symmetrical cave of evanescent slaves left to tarnish, then eventually vanish completely.
oxygen, trapdoor or snap out of the oxygen tank, capture the straight line. Crooked after leaving, reality deceiving, fact absolutely generate faster. Nowhere to go downstairs to the next step, start down there. So like little squares, bursts of bubble plots, sporadic thoughts. At least think a lot better than think not broken. Fix the box to have every dot point double hinge. Drop feeling self from the past face. Stop simulations not condemned in the face. Thought the mind cannot be a place, but ought to be placed in the box. Cannot withhold or trace the spot where we place the box. Reset for the cellular power preset. Species Louise, enough set up. Three-legged table, done fed up. Can't hold stable. Best led up off the head, upside your head. Outlive the box, dead.
The open lens were automatically blocked by the blinding beam of fluorescent figures imprinted within the lights. Too late for the better take a deep breath concept when your oxygen was caught up between the intricate webs of simple mistakes. Welcome to the world of insect behavior. See, the wise men will always take a step back for assurance, but the foolish take the first immediate current down the river of twisted symmetric channels of hectic always leading into the serpent. By the way, this all takes place parallel to the inner realm of the box. So as you finally get closer to the so-called edge of the counted time, leave your clocks behind, because the hourglass has already emptied the upper half quicker than expected, but purposely designed. No matter which way you escape, you're still going to end up with the unmounted mind. So to make it quicker, try cut the corners, because remember, this cube won't exist if it has a rounded side. So study every angle and cross over the meridian when you're like to reflect the vision of the scorpion who holds the staff of poison and guarding the only entrance into the claustrophobic cubicle that's containing the last images of truth. Finally escaping when they think you wouldn't, then walk past the audience and keep them whispering.
The unknown beckons, sight at the bottom of the box.
Extend to the outer box. Inside is a square or a Capricorn shape. Unseen outlines in outer space reside in the outer place where the parallel mind states. Lines my captures, taken out of this 4x4 perimeter pasture. In a rapture without a pastor speaking. Laughter's leaking out of this so-called box. Why isn't it pouring? Unlock those locks, let it rain. When it rains, it pours. Intercourse with the forces of nature. In an inner core recorded in Morse. Decoded with the force of a loaded double barrel. Brand new out of the box from a warehouse. Stare out past the floors, the walls and ceilings. Do you have a healing horoscope holding in feelings? Understand its auras and the ways to be presented. Don't get trapped in a trap for the fact of factors to prevent it. Intended for the cubic clues of Hubert's favorite game. We play in a panoramic pyramid grid on the planks of a parallel plane.
Captured in the war. It's no telling how long I've been here. It's hard without a clock or calendar. I've spent a very long time in this box, slowly trying to remember as I sit here and rot. Oh, you would not believe how slow the days go by, instantly affixing my vision on the warm glow. Sunshine that penetrates through the cracks, only for a brief time, then it's back to pitch black. I've seen the sunshine 1,132 times in this box. My legs are sure too weak to stand, too weak to walk, because of malnutrition from eating only the live bugs off of the muddy floor. Beating my head continually. Where is the door? The way out. When first put here, I tried to scream and shout until they silenced my foolish mouth with a huge douse of some good old-fashioned fear, cutting off both of my ears in order to make it painfully clear to me. No matter how long I shouted, I would be the only one to hear. So I hope you see, despite this hell on earth of in which I am trapped, the only thing that keeps me alive in this POW camp is my past memories of my dear family and friends. But fast are these memories coming to an end, day after day, sitting in this damp, dirty prison, crying to myself, when, oh, when will I be out of this six-sided prison? Oh, when?
Never know what you're going to get.
There's a strange energy in here. I feel it. Electric blues, revealing the clues, enabling you to choose the muse caused by the ensuing snoozing citizen in their warm, cozy bed, lying alone, lonely patterns taking over my life. Eclectic paper philosophy fed to a drifting empty head. Plenty of time to think, to shrink the gaps in my insecurities, collapse. Absurd red-colored filled memories framed by neon lights. It's the night that's burning up most of my time instead of the right thing. Afraid to be left, standing alone under a street.
street light, grabbing my chest, repenting my last breaths, drifting into the electric blues, shorting the city's fuse during the act of God that left you shaking, taking your path for granted, glowing tubes, shattering at a whisper of the truth. Take a minute and read the booth, have a cup of tea, the hatter is in, effects causing counter effects, taking your emotions for a ride. I've seen it happen many times, too many people intertwined with love, until the snake is revealed, clutching the table in the back of the club. Under the blue light, all of his secrets revealed. He is easily spotted by the large collection of empty glasses of alcohol, staring blank across the room. A single tear in his eye, his heart evil consumes. Angered by the bitch, her words fumed, unable to calm the itch provoked by his pride, tearing at the wounds which haven't had time to heal. This reality is very shocking and hard to deal with.
And in the earth. And in the earth.
I had someone to share this moment with, what I would give to live outside the premises and look inside the window, lonely statue with a grin. So try to follow me as I try hard to complicate the present situation. This occasion is quite simply the best thing to have happened in my long and quiet life. Well, actually it's similar to short and sweet love lights are dead and gone, tears sheddings. My line of sight is perpendicular to parachute. Hot air balloons that fall into lagoons that take approximately 30 days to sink to the bottom of the crying blink, like trying not to think of death. darkness I can hear the distance between sun and moon rally around the sound of the moonflower sees the fall in the autumn. So disease loves to capture the monochrome. See the scale of doom that follows like a drop of rain that seems to take away the pain of emptiness. If I could only imagine something similar to crashing thunderbolts up in that sky, I wouldn't have to lie to play and saving innocence with grin on chin like fall of time, leaving only to never return. Slamming doors, leave traces of silence as violence is the only means of relaxation. Hear the lost sensation, early morning separation from the darkness of the park. This cold, deaf, lonely being crosses fingers and hope that I can cope with death life. Hand me the homecoming knife so I can dig a tunnel through, bringing sound into the picture. I can hear myself whisper, drops of sound soaked the kite paper tissue. Sound of life, I miss you. Sound of life, I miss you. I miss you.
Lost me in the words of the chaos. Lost my the glass, the sounds of the smell. I can find me in the smell. Hell, quarry fetus, sorry, clear face, dust fives, granite throats, spit emerald, tilt touch high, ideals in stone, moss icon, pebble skin, gray flesh, carbone. My sculptor carved for sanity. Downfall, Medusa, mistress, enchant. Now he's frozen like I am. Stands behind me, work in progress. Steady diet, blessed chisel. Allergic react, AI die. Stone poet try to escape ice space. Maturity and purity implore me. Idealistic death, perfect breath can't ignore. Explore hermit decisions. Secrete Greek text, burn Rome. Stoic humility, philosopher king throne. Throne crown, emerald sound crash. Hailstorm tears, gladiate challenge. Epicurean vanity with monument scripts, mountain words. Peak sightseeing, next life, castle wall. Hibernating stone beds, never you touch fall. Crumble, touch dirt. Touch dirt, formed by mythological man. Licking cold steel, floating my man out of granite. Granted the power of overseeing, tasting stale gas fumes that cover my surface form. Placed upon this concrete block, towering, eating the fear of strangers that walk across my path. Salty sea air, hundreds of pigeons flock to give me a bath in their natural secretion. But oh, when the rain comes, I love the rain. Washing the physical graffiti of the city's atmosphere off my porous skin. Wonderful oxygen and water. Wonderful oxygen and water. Molecules to taste again. City air stale and dead on my stone tongue. Aerosol inscriptions, dirty fingers first. Burnt cigarette butts, smoldering moss. A victim of old city memories leaves my taste numb. Stone cold, worn and weathered. James by time.
I'm a shaped piece of rock in the form of a man that sits still in the park overlooking the land. I'm unable to move, but my spirit is fueled by desire. Within my soul burns the hottest fire. I developed a passion for life, sitting judgmentally, calling out the wrongs and the rights. Using my mind so my spirit can take flight, pondering words of poetry to recite. Night after night, day after day, I'm stuck here, but there's no way I can stay being constrained. While my spirit travels free on an infinite plane of thought, I've got freedom without mobility and the ability to get lost in unorthodox thoughts, breaking the form of the box. The demeanor of a statue is not to just watch. I think man's the one who's got it bad. Time forever keeps up with that ass, and I've obtained more freedom than you'll ever have. So I'm forever happy, sad, glad, angry, mad, sitting on my stone throne, observing the land.
Unless you are certain, I would suggest you refrain from a most useless experiment.
5, your arms are feeling heavy and your legs are more relaxed. 4, everything around you isn't there. 3, the eyelids on your face begin to shut. Keep them open, 2, subconscious state is starting to take over. 1, let it all go. Reminiscing with the clouds, proud to be part of the show. Side, ride to the horizon. Look for the surprising puddles in the path. They barely last long enough for you to even catch. Unlatch the latch, locking in the past. Past tense, pass, go. Entering another level where the pedal hits the flow. Fast, yes. How much faster can you go? Your cardiovascular system is hitting you too slow. Decrease your rate of speed, increase the fate you need. Being hooked up to a machine that feeds the breath you breathe. This really ain't impressing. This maxing out your limit. Stop all of the stressing. This feeling's just a gimmick. You're in it. Come out it and follow me in the manger. The chamber ain't no anger or fear here. Sit upon this chair. Let me know what happens. Your actions while you're there.
Plundered by Nietzscheans. You've missed the Magog invasions, the famines, the years when civil war and anarchy raged unchecked. You've slept through it all, but we did not. plundered by Nietzscheans. You've missed the Magog invasions, the famines, the years when civil war and anarchy raged unchecked. You've slept through it all, but we did not.
It's a full moon. Beware the moon and stick to the road. Oops. I vote we go back to the slaughtered lamb. Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. We're lost. Oh, shit, David. What is that? I don't know. Come on. Come on, where? Anywhere. I think we should just keep moving.
Street lights. A dense fog covering the park. Grass wet with dew. gravitating in the darkened, heavenly night sky above. With every deepening breath of my lungs, it's pushing me, destined onto this trashed unknown future. A very dim-lit pasture, step after step, unexpected steps when I heard a howling that sent my nerves into a shock, wrecking my concentration. I sure as hell wish this beast to stop. My walking process, at the emerging of this point being made, I decided to run, lurking over my shoulder, the deadly moon still hanging. My worst fear has just started. Another howl. It's getting close, too close. Winds in the trees, faint shrieking of owls. Ooh. What is this preying upon me? I knew I should have journeyed into this evil space and place, dancing ground for the dead, constantly a trace of the howls and growls of this beast controlling my head. Out of breath, I can't run anymore, I thought, as a strange form leaped from the bushes for my throat, hungry for blood instinctively, hearing, breathing, coming from the bush. Moments before alerted my arm to grab a rotting limb off the ground for protection. As the form jumped, I pushed the limb up through its chest, carcass hitting the muddy ground with a thud. My shaking hand now found covered with this growing blood, weeping at what I have done. I now realize because my eyes have seen, the evil I am has killed an angel, trying to save me from death. Just then my mind really, what about this beast? Before I was able to take another step, it leaps from behind my mask, sharp claws sinking into my flesh, with its teeth penetrating my chest, stealing all of my breath. What's left as I and the angel lie there, dying, but to be eaten by the wolves, no chance for salvation. Indwelling purgatory rules my soul now, eternally.
It's moving. It's circling us. Ah, fuck.
I warm the house at night. I warm the house in Family Square. I am aluminum bent square up the walls and blank air warmth in the room square. I am heated fumes quietly through the walls, vented walls, rooms, bedrooms against where I am. Nightly squeezing out invisible moving sequence through the square. Through voyage condition system of events moving through the night.
Did you hear that? I heard that. What was it? Could be a lot of things. Yeah?
12 hours of dim-lit, awkward illumination. That's when the night comes in, making day take a vacation. For a 12-hour span, as nocturnal creatures come out, reaping havoc on the land. Tides change with the sound, rearrange while the moonbeam clan does some sort of strange sacrificial demonstration. Meanwhile, the Sandman travels across the nation, implanting dreams of innovation into people's heads till he reached the bed where he met his demise, trying to subject his imagery to closed eyes, neglected to see the supernatural entity on the other side of the room, trying to do her job, which is to rob people of natural bones and replace it with cash. Both forces working too fast to notice each other moving in the same victim, masked with a cartoon blanket decorated with spaceships. They mixed up and gave gifts to the wrong places. Let's face it, both these guys are disgraces. There's no way to erase this. They left the poor kid faceless. They replaced his forehead with a dollar bill as the dream accidentally spilled out the windowsill. So who's to say that the night doesn't kill, as both fell to their death, trying to salvage what was left, an occupation meant for all those who slept.
Hey, what was that? What was that? What? You didn't see that? You got the shit, Cliff. It's not funny anymore. No, man, come on. Look, I think there's someone out there with a flashlight.
Engaged through nightfalls, night calls, cut lips to howl. Mouth stitch, Sandman, sewn tight, night dust, air thrust through blue shadow throat. Black lung, darkness the force, of course. Dark water, nights on high moon horses. Eclipse, apocalypse, vision, carve scene, incision. Misplaced, cloudscape, race, dust angel. Fallen star memory, hibernating in horizon. Suicidal sun, solar displays. Desert art, sandstorm face. Blinded by binding, married night. The best man's flesh designer. Here comes the bride. Shadow replaces gown. Lawfully wedded wife escapes.
escape, prenuptial tied down. Cut it open and frown carefully. 4 funerals and a wedding on one night. Suicide casket suit sewn tight. Constriction, wishing well, water reflects moonlight. Consume conviction. Lay on the altar after receptions and pray for the sun. And listen to ashes and anatomy and night and false things and blue things and dust wings flying through the darkness. And you may now kiss the bride goodbye and watch it die.
It's a crow.
Crows don't squawk at night unless they're stirred. You know where the highway's at?
Yeah, I go straight ahead, I get to the lake, and I make a left.
No, you make a right. You'd hit the highway in about 4 miles.
Thank you.
And don't stop for anything till you get to the highway. Now go.
We seen the rain in between the lanes. We hit the road with no place to go.
The pavement was wet, the intersections never empty.
Highway 39, the design was never ending. Forever sending us on missions to pay tuitions, pick up checks, wax, and listen to new tracks on the way. By the way, gotta stop for gas, chipping some cash. For the day we'll be away, and as for tonight we'll be back late. So don't wait up, straight up the burning highway we went, without our minds being made up about the actual destination. 3 heads of creation can only come to one possible agreement, and ask for patience, it wasn't needed. We're on the road to achievement. Speeding with the license to thrive and the right to deny your misleading directions. Getting right, not left, sitting in the middle of the intersection. Needing a jump, instead jumped the gun and left you in the dust. Must not trust the moving vehicle driving at night with no lights. Flashing my bright lights twice. Let him know that we're there and aware that he might like fight. The wheel and the rubber that's bare, sending him clear. Hydroplane across the road. Notice the firestone speeding as he gained control slow. But gradually got the MPH back up to its limit. The highway's no gimmick, so get off or get in it and deal with its repercussions. Stop cussing, get rid of the road rage, move into the slow lane, get off of the phone, man, get into the zone. I'm almost home. Every day I take a chance, driving on these congested roads. Every time I take a glance, fearing the unadjusted rear view, get a clear view of those clear blue and rose colors flashing behind. Now I'm asking what I do this time, but it's not my time, cause the flashing keeps passing me by. Answer me why that I said, but I bet it's the drive on the way to the beach. Is my Jeep on beach? No, it's Highway 39. We seen the rain in between the lanes. We hit the road with no place to go.
The pavement was wet, the intersections never empty.
Highway 39, the design was never ending.
It was a slippery trip when I dipped into the zone. I was kinda stoned, completely alone, heading towards home. I was blinded by the lights, distracted by the mobile phone. Just departed from this house of this pretty girl that I just boned. But wait a minute, what's that? I think it was a black cat. Right underneath the street lights, right next to a place I got gas at. Past that little apartment complex to the right, where we sometimes create and make tracks on late nights. The fake might not comprehend, but at the end of this road is a sign that describes the end. The vibes that bend as a result of the highway's essence. Every detail around me seems to surround me with its presence. Nevertheless, in the midst of this mess, I clench my fist to my chest just to express the wickedness. Only to test my headlights, I stop at a red light and confess my head might violently burst into fright. I quench my thirst in the mic, approaching a turnpike. On this traffic congested path, I'm manifested a blast of energy that can pass through the mass of automobiles. As the plot was filled, one shot, one kill. As time stood still, you could feel the raindrops. Rubber peel, the pain stops. As I feel my brain pop, right next to the 2 cops in front of the donut shop. Stop! What the fuck was I thinking? Checking out these ugly prostitutes on Beach and Lincoln, on the brink of sinking, next to the stinking bum who keeps drinking and speaking about some kind of last days. As I broke out in a fast blaze, past displays of violence and negative aspects of drugs and sex. It bugs the heck out of me to see the city come to this. I'm done with this, I run with this through every single city, down every street. The madness blocks the road and renders life incomplete. My heart skipped the beat as soon as as I seen the shiny blade, I was chillin', right outside a place where my homie stayed. I guess somebody wanted me alive because I could have been slayed. I'm glad I prayed, I'm glad I prayed. I guess it just wasn't my time with a load off my mind. Paranoid on Highway 39. I seen the rain in between the lanes.
We hit the road with no place to go.
The pavement was wet, the intersection's never empty.
Highway 39, the design is never ending.
Well, I was far from this reality, most likely because the remedy had to be the uncomfortable mattress that was under me. You see, I would have never awoke, but if you spoke out my name while I'm sleeping, I'm bound to wake up trying to make out what you were saying. At first it didn't make sense, until it all connected that nobody else was at home. I should have suspected that the circulating air was below the normal temperature that intended. As I headed over to the balcony door, I noticed that it was open wider than I expected. At the intersection, it started calling out my name from the turning lane. I wondered if this was some sort of game, as it blamed me for its pain. But it was tainted by this evil figure. The bigger the boundaries, the sicker the town will be. I could have stayed upstairs and escaped affairs, but curiosity acted like a blade to my neck. Silence was the way that I stepped, locking the door behind me on my route to the highway. I prayed when I left, mentally, and the more that I walked, I uncovered the plot. I couldn't stop the night from echoing the flight of an owl. Discovered my path and led me to the construction site filled with an empty environment. A company truck was parked out front, but useless because the tire was bent. So I climbed to the top of it to help me jump the barbed wire fence, landing into a puddle, dropping my lighter. Now that was wet as I continued into the darkness and couldn't even tell where I was heading or who I was going to be facing. But then again, I heard the muddy boards pounding on the steel hollow foundation, covered in tar. I didn't expect to travel far, especially when I don't even own a car, let alone a Thomas guide. And I'd rather be back at home inside, but I wasn't, and the map has been conducted and placed into my mind like Columbus, as I wander within the music and let the universe become my compass. Grab the wrench, your ears can hear the echoed establishment, which landed quick after the screws hit the ground. Plus, one of the pages in the hell manual that would be the next, having to be ripped out of context. And you will never accidentally mentally trigger the thought that brought you to attention. Mistakes from the factory, glitches in the technological based optical square-shaped model of surrounding armor protecting the information. Transportation rig in a short 24-hour day span, giving back a broken down vehicle with maybe only your clock adjusted man. Late to work, scanning at least a 10-car space radius, more alert than an everyday robot program that seemed to wake up at 6, drinking caffeine in Starbucks, then using the straw to burn your sense of smell. And don't forget to grab your briefcase, now you're thinking of an explanation to tell your acting manager. Turn out to act like an amateur, call an artist, but the artist part is to think fast. And I bet you forgot to think past all the problems, remembering that you left your keys on the tray and threw them away by mistake. And with all that pressure, you couldn't fake a supervisor in place with the poker face. But when you went to grab the deck of cards from your desk, your drawer was empty.
Do you think they'll ever find intelligent life anywhere in the universe? Still looking for intelligent life here on Earth. coming, the winds are coming, the shutters are shaking, the shutters are shaking, the Rockies are falling, the Rockies are falling. I know that our house is withstanding, built and rocked and withstanding.
The winds are coming, they started with the breeze, creeping through the trees, ever so gently, dancing melodically on the plains of the planetary terrain, hitting things with the force of a train, trying to tear down everything that I built, but my soul will not wilt. It's not standing on stilts, it's sitting on sediments of stone, constructed by my own hands, reinforced by the lands. I'm positive it can withstand the demolition, winds of oppression, bottled up aggression, stress, lack of progression. The winds are calling your name, rat-a-tat-tat on the window pane, good bang. We built our home on stone, I do not condone it falling apart into the ozone. Next time pay attention to the wind chimes and early warning signs that the destructive winds are in your mind. Build your house on a foundation of rock and you should be fine. Strong-willed, strong mind, able to conquer the constraints of time. So next time pay attention to the wind chimes blowing in the breeze, howling up the trees. The wind is most accountable for killing weak-minded with ease. What's that? Coming from the porch, it's an indomitable force. The chimes are ringing, singing tunes played by the breath of the earth. The turf is first flat and the foundation must be chosen. Frozen, laughter melted, drifting from the upside down body of liquid voices, convincing to run, forgetting alternate choices. Sun confused, there's no way we can lose. We built to unrock it, will stand. Built to unrock it, will stand. Built to unrock it, will stand. Shut the windows, make sure the doors are locked. Don't watch the clock, the villagers flock for the last standing structure. The storm picked up the pace, then it punctured. The frame ruptured, the window pane, the rain pouring, thunder clapping, the tree branches snapping, drifting through the whirlwind. The sinister entity with standing side tracking energy. Disaster has been caused. I'm searching for the weak spots, preyed upon the flaws, leaving brutal scars on its violent claws. The law can't explain its force, vigorous acts of torment with no remorse. Emptiness, cloud in the sky, voiceless, wondering why the absence of a soul could be so cold, yet still burn.
Shaking, the shutters are shaking, the Rockies are falling, the Rockies are falling. I know that our house is withstanding, built and rocked and withstanding.
Deserted in empty meadows, your shadow cannot be trusted. The porch is already broken, you're running from nothing now. I've spoken my last word, my voice is the moist air. It's unfair to look when you pass, the grass can be poison ivy. Unfortunate but ears don't listen, you're missing the whole point, even after you try to stare. But it's so hard to comprehend the connection between the air. But try to listen a little bit harder when you compare. But why? It's there, you just might not know it, but your antenna needs repairs. Think of the gas canister that's unstable inside the winds of a tornado, but unable to keep the frequency like an unaware misclaiming a cable. And the gas are leaking, causing a mixture within the air that's fatal. Take a deep breath, when you let it out, all of a sudden you're gonna feel like Play-Doh. There's no oxygen left in 2 minutes to survive. Who would have died in order to have a chance to stay alive, but failed? You held the answer, but does it even matter when you never exhale?
I am the atmosphere changing seasons, storming rain, doing Mother Nature's task for all of her provocative, beautiful reasons. At times causing pain, leading many to believe I'm calling their name. I contain more power than the average mind is able to conceive. I don't blame them though, their branches I flow, effortless. My very being moves the trees. At times my wrath is responsible for their pleas for help. Ever visible with their eyes, they can't see me. But regardless, my presence is always felt even before the beginning. I've been a tool in God's hands, destroying creation, so that His plan upon this earth is always dealt. I move to the south and blow to the north. Around and around I go, ever returning onto my course, causing vigorous acts of torment with no remorse. Moving out of life stream forever by my force, of course. The clouds and the entire sea are nothing but playthings to me. One of the elements, physical divine reality. You, man, are oppressed in mind. The wind and free, an unstoppable force which has no end. All of your efforts have no meaning, still every day, every man is chasing after the wind. The winds are coming.
Relax. Exploration. Close your eyes. And open up all those doors. You can't, you don't, you will, you won't. It eventually happens to everybody. It eventually happens to everybody. You can't ignore the truth. Shouldn't have shunned the youth. You're just evading reality. And constantly bending the truth. Look around. They are everywhere. Right there, producing the air. To please your arrogance, it's obviously very evident that most don't take the time to compliment or understand the entire plan of life. To engage in their own agenda to be our friend. Open your eyes, their death means our end. It is very necessary within your shallow life for coexistence with the trees. Oh, why logic can't they hear our screams? We're screaming the truth, they just don't seem to be hearing it. Our dreams are the proof, they're incoherent cause they're fearing it. Soon as you feel the children's cry, they start building a lie, constructing a fable to balance the table. They need to take a minute and listen, get within it and glisten, and open up the perception towards the youth. The direction is obtuse, and taking the crooked path to profanity, looking and looking past the insanity. While you're ignoring it, we be exploring. While you're ignoring it, we be exploring. While you're ignoring it, we be exploring it. Taking the bits and pieces of information and storing it. While you're ignoring it, we be exploring it. While you're ignoring it, we be exploring it. While you're ignoring it, we be exploring it. Taking the bits and pieces of information and storing it. They pull the wool over their own eyes while talking themselves and believing their own lies. Every single man knowing but often fail to realize how quite simple a mind is to hypnotize. You would think after a couple of tries that people would understand that it's their own lives they're killing. Persecuting for drugs, that they're the ones that are dealing. Still in a state of constant blindness. I hope to God one day they'll find this and let the children listen. Give them a chance to check the format and view the slight effort it takes to explore that world you live in. Look past the disguise it's given and stop tripping. It's just reality. Ignorance might be bliss, but ignoring this is a casualty. Life is a battery. Fitting in to make the machine operate. Before it burns to you, a number they designate. To create a false image of protection beyond your discretion, and you hit nothing but lies when they ask questions. Still haven't learned your lesson? Well, allow me to lend to you a few simple suggestions. Please pay close attention. Be very aware of your surroundings. Be still. Feel the inner good pounding, drowning out ignorance and disbelief. Oh yes, your imagination is definitely something that you need. Still, don't lose contact with reality. Quick with time to satisfy life with your fallacy. Contributing to the decay of mankind. Gladly working themselves to death for money. Unaware also of how to deal with the stress, how funny. Searching for happiness is something that doesn't exist. We're all too involved. There's absolutely no way out of this. How are we gonna get out? Take some more time to explore. Open up the door and let the Lord into your garden. And now you realize that while you're ignoring it, we be exploring it. While you're ignoring it, we be exploring it. While you're ignoring it, we be exploring it. Taking the bits and pieces of information and storing it. While you're ignoring it, we be exploring it. While you're ignoring it, we be exploring it. While you're ignoring it, we be exploring it. Taking the bits and pieces of information and storing it. Storing it. We be exploring it. While you're ignoring it. Everything is revealed if you give it time.
Which way did they go? It's a mystery, no one even knows. Follow them down the path or let them go. Contemplations of the soul, ethical decisions needing to be made. Held back by a blockade of options. Too many options, then again I've been watching, contemplating, guesstimating which way did they go. Consequences of the soul's final resting place. Destination descension from grace, falling as a result of wrong decisions that you make in actuality. Actuality is not something to take for granted. Make all your choices with your feet firmly planted in the ground. The sound, logic, and reasoning. Deductive arguments and critical thinking. Lost in thought, unorthodox.
of rhythm instrument. Variety 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 of rhythm instrument.
Behind the curtain, are you absolutely certain that what you believe is solid? Can you positively call it fact, or is it just a front? I think we're all off track, let's call it a hunch. Have you peeked behind the curtain? Are you absolutely certain that what you believe is solid? Can you positively call it fact, or is it just a front? I think we're all off track, let's call it a hunch.
Take caution, because the buildings are listening. I think that we're giving in to the city we're living in. The doors are opening, I'm hoping they will ignore me. Sitting here smoking quietly, scoping and exploring. We keep ignoring, but they keep on listening. And they keep on centering, succeeding in entering. And watching the veterans who concocted the medicine to establish the skeletons. It can't be irrelevant. We're too intelligent, the camera is the enemy. Feeding our residents, the stamina is the remedy. Regulate your privacy and stealing your memories, and killing the chemistry and controlling your destiny. Entire communities digitally recorded. There is no immunity, we already aborted. The circuit was shorted, the frequency was distorted. The lenses were fogged up for the second they walked up. There's a satellite interference, now the sidewalk was chalked up. Your muscles just locked up, well too bad you fucked up. We're all in the same boat, so so I guess it's just tough luck. Hey Jahs, I think they need an explanation.
Doesn't it feel like we're always being watched? From the big eye in the sky to the digitized TV, internally sensing that I was being followed as my footsteps echoed in the hollow hallway. That day, the smoke screen gave way and exposed to me the plot that underlay the day-to-day norm. These ideas were hitting in the form of a brainstorm. No, I will not conform. Thinking about it just riddles my health. Good thing that I consider myself and this biased-ass government that enslaves me to be sociologist, because I know that they follow us and watch every emotion in motion with the gleaming, scheming eye, telling tattletales and digitized lies. These spies, foolish tries to disguise intent. You're not informed, you're kept behind the other side of the fence where ignorance can get you killed and innocent blood spills and life is recorded on the reels to reels. It's not uncommon to feel insecure in this impure system. We're all caught on television victims being surveyed and tracked by the system. The freedoms in the music. Do you listen? Are you listening? Do you listen?
Have you peeked behind the curtain? Are you absolutely certain that what you believe is solid? Can you positively call it fact? Or is it just a front? I think we're all off track. Let's call it a hunch.
Have you peeked behind the curtain? Certainly blinded by burdens that's been burning like bourbon. Need a sermon to hear your cries. The bird in the sky is soaring, always in flight. No need in trying to hide, because they're ready to spy. Watching and waiting for the perfect time to record. The movements you're making were fake and never really yours. They practice their tactics and actions, acting as you're acting. They capture the pixels and fix them up, fiction to factual, relying on spectacles while tackling your attention, eagerly awaiting your undivided attention. Not to mention being followed and harassed by their inventions, intended to uncover, asking way too many questions. Never filling in the blanks with advertising nonsense. Always in the making, taking everything in the process. It's obvious we need to take a stand up for ourselves. There's no one in this world that's gonna help you to prevail. Your privacy was gone way before you even knew it. And everything we do is in a room where they can view it. Screw it, we might as well just let them know we've known. Look directly in the lenses, give the bird that they can scope.
As I pull the rope, I get closer to the smoke, and I hope that I choke on the flames of the train, and the tracks and the cracks to the tail of the brain, in the back of the curtain. And I'm certain you could gain if it's strained to be a baddest, and your status will explain the madness and the pain, the madness and the pain. Surveillance is an option, costing us a growing fortune, selling secrets at an auction, often thought to save endorphins. Nothing can be private, I get sick to fucking say it. When I grab it by the tonsils, I am not when I play it. Give the shit a label, call it quits, follow the cable. Delicate, not holding stable, better crawl under the table. It's gone, but why not try with the quick blink of the eye? And I'm thinking it's alive, feel like I'm sinking, but it's dry. We all must surely die and share our oblivion. It's an absent meridian between the whole city and side of the cinema. The eyes, the anti-public, I know it's a virtue, programmed and learned to love it. It's not gonna hurt you, just host it while they shove it completely down your neck, to keep track of every step and to calculate the depth so they know what happens next. A radius of cameras and infrared scopes, controlling every movement, including every time you smoke. The broken rake will tell you, and the footprints are the sign, but the teacher will not tell you, cause of course the teacher's blind.
It happens, even though you know the circumstances. Chances, you're out on the limb and ready to bend the branches. Never will you know another feeling when it comes, even though the situation seems like it's for fun. Some say it's an accident and some they run away. Some do it intentional and some think it's a game. Plain out, it really was meant to be. And dealing with I'm willing to accept it is the key. Duplicate the metal, open up the door. Watch out for the table, now the coffee's on the floor. I'm never using Clorox on my polyester rugs again, especially when every color starts to blend and tends to match the patch of the different color paint in the back of my car. car. Still looking for the dude who hit it, swerving out the bar. But the shit I'll do to him will get me locked behind bars. Hadn't it had to happen, then this shit wouldn't have happened. Hadn't it had to happen, then this shit wouldn't have happened. Hadn't it had to happen, then this shit wouldn't have happened. And the reaction would have been, why did shit even have to happen? Cause that's life, I guess, to make. Sometimes that has to happen. Too late to actually live a great momentary timeline where you find these years going too fast and need to stop on a dime line so you can handle all agendas intended. If running errands had a splendid superhero and they procrastinated, he'd never be recommended. On my behalf, you gotta roll the rock down the hill, slide and laugh, onward and so forth in your mission's craft. So what you miss the deadline, as soon as it's done, it'll make the headlines. And if it doesn't happen, snooze, they choose to lose. Gotta keep on stepping, pay attention to the do's and do nots. And if that doesn't work, line up some new plots, and then accumulate through thoughts that cut to the chase. And that's never great taste, but the pace is picante, so don't let it go to waste. Hadn't it had to happen, then this shit wouldn't have happened. Hadn't it had to happen, then this shit wouldn't have happened. Hadn't it had to happen, then this shit wouldn't have happened. And the reaction would have been, why did shit even have to happen? Finally got my car fixed, cleaned the carpet, went through the junk mail, looking for some bargains. Got the penny saver, did a mini favor for the homie Kaboom. Told me to find some bumps soon, see you around noon. The time came to pass, I knocked on the door saying let me in fast. I got this much cash, do you have any advice? I found a place called Harbor Sound, they'll be anyone's price. Great, let me call them, make sure they have some 6x8s. Wait, tell them that we found them at another place cheaper. Quote, cousin, we carry every speaker. Hey, cause we're coming from a hella long way. So where you say you were? Up the 22 in Harbor. Finally gonna get my van to bump a little harder. Uzi, are there any things you need to do? No, let's hit the road so we can get back around too. Hadn't it had to happen, and this shit wouldn't have happened. Hadn't it had to happen, and this shit wouldn't have happened. Hadn't it had to happen, and this shit wouldn't have happened. And the reaction would have been, why did shit even have to happen? Shit, I passed it, gotta make a U-turn. Celsius was following in case they do burnt deals. Pulled into the driver wheels to the curb stopper, entered only to hear bids and offers, whooping about whoppers of woofers that we couldn't even hear, when all we really came for was a couple of pioneers. Cousin, I told you we don't have any in stock. That's not what you said earlier before we had this talk. Look, cousin, I tell you what I do. Give me what you have and what your friend has too. That's not what I want, and I'm running out of patience. Cousin, I'll give you all these speakers plus an amp and installation. Should I? Yeah, take that shit without no hesitation. Sales already waiting preparation. Couple of bucks short, went to the bank, came back, dudes on vacation. Boosted the price, told us some lies, called the pigs because we talk shit. So we skid out, hardly bumping with frustration. Be out of this place.
I guess shit happens.
Contrast, comparison, objectives too difficult to compare. The selective limbs left to lift the grim passage. Struck by a vehicle, clearing the crop pattern, circle drop the horrific tail and bail. Through the dole, unpolished skull, unfinished death. Time struck with drunkenness, awkward position. A manicured cornfield, wishing with one lonely light. Lifted bright with one lonely light. Lifted bright, a star gifted flight across the historical line. Declare time's life aborted, circuit shorted, a clock obsolete, incomplete, methodical miss, soaking ears of corn in a periodical hiss, poking through the brush to rush growth spurts with irrelevant inserts of selfishness. The cobs are talking, telling me things like shedded miracle agriculture between embedded. The minutes count them one by one.
We're going to be caught up in the commercialization of mass culture. You're never going to make it. And too many people get caught up in it. You have to be independent, individualistic, 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 independent, individualistic.
Get through the lost caverns. You better grab your lantern, following the crooked pattern. Scattered echoes ricocheting off the stone walls. I saw it all on the mainframe monitor. Manually I command, altered, deleted, typed in the security code. Immediately transitioning into search mode, increasing the rate of my memory load. I focus my attention upon the disturbing commotion on the big screen, connected to the cave scene of unwanted intruders contaminating my project with uncontrolled logic. They entered the first corridor, oblivious to the core of the situation. In the second sense of hesitation, feeding upon a piece of my creation. I got the blueprints. Let's begin preparation, shifting the hallways, completing the maze, releasing gases and gamma rays, leaving them in a daze. They continue to trek, just wanting to protect my precious equipment. Begin process of shipment. Gradually, they approach a dusty piano, resting amongst the confusion. Their intrusion is abusing my illusionary right of privacy. So they press the key, proving the antiquity of the instrument, transforming the predicament. The ground starting collapsing around, the tunnels of fire overwhelming these mist-like creatures to their earthly retirement, causing a demented blast to pass through the dark and cauldron, unfolding my plans for protection of the lands they walk on in agony, still unaware of the anatomy. A dimly lit ladder deserted in the hollowed hill. The puppets were killed, the flames stood still.
You managed to evade my desert traps, but I promise you won't survive.
Can you make it through the lost caverns? You better bring your lantern, or does it even matter? I started off with just a ladder. The higher the elevation, the more of an unpredictable situation. For the outcome of this incredible decapitation, beginning with a few strategies manually written by pharaohs, connecting unseen wire for the desire of launching arrows dynamically into the heart. But I'd rather start by melting apart your precious bone marrow. So I put down the bow and headed to where the flow of water was being channeled slightly narrow. Hidden in the corner was exactly what I needed, so I proceeded with the last empty, soon to be filled barrels of bubbling acid. I headed back, passing the stream, dumping out the extra flask containing the remaining chemicals to float secretly in the current available course, deliberately poisoning the only water source for them to drink. But by the way, there's no time to think, because I've already pointed out where to set up both of these containers, which was placed right above the head. The trap was tripped, tilting and melting your whole skeleton. Don't worry about any remaining pieces to package up for us to mail back to them if they don't exist. Have you ever seen your fist just get brutally ripped off right before your eyes? Well, the surprise is hidden beneath the disguise of this so-called doorknob. What a painful, sore thought when your body is arranged in a way that you've never wanted to see. And if that didn't do the job, keep walking. Then if you think you're brave enough, about 40 feet ahead, you'll be ended up stepping on the covered up sharp jaws like contraptions of rigid sharp spiked blades. There goes the bottom limbs. Oh, but wait, your partner got away. He better have protective armor if he thinks he can go that way, collecting honor. But guess what? Honestly, I know that you didn't bring any rope, and I hope that you know right before you get to the end, you'll be covered by tarantulas. As you fall into the pit of foolish fate, escaping, never finding what was hidden. The false fragments of lost hope, and if you can't cope with the venomous bite, try thinking about the uprising water below, dissolve in the caverns.
Make it through the lost cavern, you better bring your lantern and a map. You'd be better off turning back, cause the booby tracks might grab your legs, or maybe your arms, only if you disarm the path of the Klove. You're on the wrong will this man get out of his van? Then he approached the path unprepared. He forgot his lantern, I knew he was scared. He walked in shivering, he strolled up at a slow pace. My first shot out of the ring, 4 darts flying to his face. He ducked, and they missed. Damn, now I'm pissed. This man needs to be dismissed before he finds the lost caverns. He started calling on the floor up, and a cave was falling. His sword came down on his leg. He started calling out for help. No one was there, so we started to cry. Set off tear gas for the eyes. Now he's seeing blurry in a hurry. He needs to gain his vision for the technician is to ring up more traps for the guy. Living with fucked up eyes. The best thing for him to do is lie down, but not like a clown. He lives in deeper and darker. And now it's time for the death of this crazy path walker. But I'm a path walker stalker. Up next he'll be faded, cause out came a swinging axe and he was decapitated. He underestimated the path of the Clover traps, and now he's cremated, stopping his own death tracks.
We're not interested in any souvenirs.
Path thrown right, your bicycle down here. Insane road left square. Street landscape gear. Metal pusher concrete. Home, will you turn your scope to circle push stop? Will I go? Grass, sand, pebble hill, area, pedal away, etc. My bicycle and I go manufacture men, stages, various stuff through.
Aerodynmx. 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 Aerodynmx.
Thought I heard it all to the violent call of quiet quickly capture my attention, sitting in a dimension of silence and a pool of tension, drowning in the loud sounds of nothingness. If you heard it, well then I really have to hand it. But while you're whispering, I'm straining my ears to understand it. But damn it, I'm wondering why it never even speaks. Yet has so much to say from the smallest beach to the highest peaks. The wind, the rain, the sky at night, the stars the way they shine. Translating silence sounds like gestures of a mind. It pesters at the mind and juggles it so high. The western flicks in mute and colored in black and white. Getting the point across to you, not lifting my tongue to bite. Any others words are deaf, I still don't have the right. Xerox in one matter where the volume tones are similar. Still an 8 is needed to pick up wavelengths like cellular familiar, transmitting thoughts through large amounts of metal. A filler for your time, it's time to drop the line and settle. Telling all you know might be a downfall in the long run. Keep it under your hat so we can conversate when the song's done. Take a few, enjoy the view, and the seconds while they pass. Our time is precious, spend it wisely, enjoy it while it lasts. I know a moment's not enough to respect those from the past, but it's hard to hear omission to mention when it's muffled at the mask. Off the muzzle, slightly puzzled by the last moving leaves, motionless, unspoken from the trees. It's obvious that the feeling being said is in the bending of the air, and the lending of your ear is needed for the frequencies to touch.
The wind, the rain, the sky at night, the stars the way they shine, translating silent sounds like gestures of a mime.
Stickly, automated, craftly, unique in the king character, chatter, ever messages blown with the breed. An artificial passage with an open gate. Porculus arts lead a juggling soul alone. Programming pre-mix, simple X cadence, notes and letters hidden among the spirits of the grass and camping strong. Lilith moving across the lands and parts pair F. Parallel earth songs with angelic paraphrase, partial dividends divided with a wand. Wood chipping, shedded in imaginative reality, painstaking, stain erased the wooden tears. Turned into rounded proportions of the trop chromosomes of a chlorophyll tree.
You heard it. Showcase. Journey. Redwood. Parallel 2001. Drew Spin Remix. Absent Meridian.